I already know the answer to this question, but I'm gonna just ask it anyway. And you're gonna annoy me with the answer, but it is what it is.
You gonna be Shawn Porter now?
You can teach any style in boxing?
Yeah, the winning style. The winning style. It ain't but one style, the winning style. Because I never had a style, Shawn. You can't have a style.
I will back you up on that.
You gotta be able to
I'm gonna co-sign that.
Change your style.
I'm gonna co-sign that because when I was watching fights of yours and stuff like that, I'm like, how do you describe Magic Man? Magic Man he got the left hand.
But I do what it takes.
And he can box, yeah. And it's like, you know, like there wasn't anything that was like you weren't wow until the wow happened. You know what I mean?
Right. It was just,
does that make sense to you? Like it's like
you don't see nothing going on until you see it.
And then if you're like me, like I'm rewinding, I'm like, okay, what was he seeing? And I'm watching the feed and all that kind of stuff. I got a cosign. You just got it. You just had it. You just have it. You
I was a thinker in that ring, man.
Yeah.
I was a plotter. I was a poker player, cunning, unpredictable, and those are all the things I wanted to be.
And you was comfortable doing that, though.
I was comfortable.
Yeah.
I was comfortable in my skin because I was confident in my ability.
My dad, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. My dad, so it's a couple. So one of the things that we would do, my dad would train. I had a multitude of styles as well, and my dad would train specifically to whatever he wanted to see on this day. So some days it was just nothing but the jab. Some days it was we working just on defense. Other days it was this. Other days it was that. And the days that he would want me to counterpunch, and I would lead off first, he stopped the whole sparring session. I thought I told you to counter. I am. No, you're not countering. You just threw a jab. I told you to counter. You got to be comfortable. You got to stay right here. When the punch comes, you can't flinch. You got to catch it. You got to counter it.
Be in his
rhythm.
Like,
all right, cool, Dad. But my rhythm depends upon me leading off. I get comfortable when I lead off. And then my reflexes come to, I can catch and counter off of that. And so it was things like that helped build every little piece of what I had. Yep. How did you build the Magic Man? How did the Magic Man get built?
It was a long time, bro, in the process.
Yeah.
People don't understand. I was boxing at 10 years old.
Yeah.
They think I started late. I didn't start late. I started early.
Yeah.
From 10 to 14, I proved to be one of the best fighters in Florida at a young age.
Yeah.
You feel me? But from 14 to 18,
yeah,
I was out of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mom moved 50 miles on the other side of town. Mm-hmm. So boxing was removed from me. Mm-hmm. Bad as I wanted to do it, I couldn't. So I got involved in other sports.
Yeah.
But when I graduated out of high school and no scholarships and all that shit, I'm tripping. I got a son, a young son. His birthday, January 24th. So that was the summer of 88.
Yeah.
So, I'm going through a lot, bro. I'm at the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And I see this vision.
Yeah.
And I just saw that, bro. And I didn't let that change over the time of.
I'm gonna put this into perspective, and I'm gonna just look at you. And if I'm wrong, you correct me. I'm gonna put this into perspective, and then we're gonna do our motivation, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Okay.
You fought 10 to 14, right?
Right.
Didn't fight from 14 till 20.
About at night, I started training again about 19. I started back training.
And you did the Pan American Games, the Olympic Games, World Championships, just one World Championship tournament?
Yeah. No, I had two. I lost to Jack Lord Jacob in my first world title championship in Finland.
Okay.
But he was a silver medalist. He lost to Ramon Garbe in the finals of that tournament. And I fought Ramon Garbe.
Yeah.
In a USA-Cuba duel in Mississippi.
Wow.
But Ramon Garbe was the top of the ladder at that time for Cuba.
Yeah.
I fought him in a contested fight.
Yeah.
They gave it to him.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I felt the effects of body punching. First time in my life.
Yeah.
In Biloxi, Mississippi.
He was a pro and amateur.
He was amateur an amateur going to my body. So I'm like, I'm cool. Okay. I'm tearing off on him on his head.
Yeah.
Bro, after the second round, I needed help getting up.
Dang.
Bro.
Just took your legs away.
Took my legs away.
Yeah.
I couldn't move. And he was able to win.
Were you still sharp up top?
I was the man,
but you just couldn't. You was like getting lethargic.
He had more international experience.
Yeah.
He was a dog, bro.
Yeah.
Ramon Garbe was a dog.
But I want to put this into perspective, and I want to respect you and honor you right now, because when you get to that point of being, and you said, like, you sitting on your couch, you already know what you've been in. Y'all should know his story. Y'all should know what he's been going through. And he turns on the TV and you see Roy Jones and you say, you know what? I'm going to win that gold medal. And on top of that, to avenge a man that eventually you would fight. But at that point, there was no malice there. It's just, I'm going to get what he didn't get because y'all stole it from him.
Inspiration, USA.
But when you go to the Olympic Games, you fight against guys that been fighting since they was 8 years old, never took any time off, and learning and growing, fighting against other greats and making them better. You're going against those guys and you beating those guys. I want everybody to respect who you are as a fighter and what you did as a fighter. I understand what it takes. You fighting at the Olympic trials. You four to six fights?
Yeah.
Through the whole week.
The best of the best.
Against the best of the best that never took any time off.
Right. It's hard, bro. It's
you know what I mean? And then you turn pro and there's so much you had to fight through. You didn't have a deal and you didn't have this and you didn't have so many times for you to go back to what you was going through. Bro. So many times for you to just say, I quit because they're not giving it.
Exactly.
I'm supposed to. I seen Roy and you never stopped. I want to use this as motivational now. We in our motivational segment now. That I want people, number one, to respect who you are and what you've done because you're unique.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate it.
Like there's something magical going on with you.
I believe that too.
Go to the Patreon. I'm just telling y'all to go to the Patreon so that y'all can see this man's story. It's on other YouTube stuff like that. You type in Antonio Tarver, see the greatest story never told.
Yes, sir.
Because it truly is. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know everything until I started to read and watch and dissect and things like that because I had to. Mm-hmm. I've had a pleasure.
Thank you.
Learning more about you. I've had a pleasure, of course, having you being in your presence this weekend. But I want you to use so let me do this again. Just as a fighter, it's very hard for most of us to take time away from this and come back to it and become everything that he became. I'm not saying it can't be done.
It's just hard.
This is a unique case, and if you don't believe me, try to find other cases like this. You won't find them.
Yep.
This man's unique. This man's magical. I love that for you. I know where you get the name from, but there's something about you, and I really, really appreciate that. With that being said, I want you guys to respect this man. Understand, it don't matter if he talk too loud. Don't matter if he talk too fast. Don't matter if all he want to do is talk about him. Everything come back to him.
It's coming from a good place.
It's coming from a great place.
Thank you.
From a great man with the greatest story never told.